Hello everyone. Today we'll be analyzing two different UFO clips and looking at an animation on Analyzing Today's UFO Clips, episode 31. Since this channel is fairly new, I like to start with a quick note letting newcomers know that this series is dedicated to UFO clips you or anyone else can find on the internet. Sure, we all want to get to the bottom of this UFO mystery, but here, it's our guilty pleasure to watch and analyze UFO clips because, well, we love the UFOs, right? Also, don't forget to stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can win a free hoodie. For now, let's begin. Our first clip is from a few years back, but I thought I'd give it a fresh review. Let's watch it first and then discuss.
During his spare time, Brett Jones enjoys snapping pictures of birds, but recently he was rolling on something a little out of the ordinary.
I just saw this flash in the corner of my vision, and I look over and there's a plane, and then I saw the flash again, and it was kind of near it. I just started trying to capture it.
Jones says he thinks he's seen unidentified flying objects before, but has never been able to get them on camera. Last Friday, just outside his home in Pleasant Garden, he didn't think he captured much, but when he went inside to look at the footage...
I had told my wife, I said, I just saw a UFO, and she was like, oh, yeah, again? And so I'm like, yeah, and I'm looking through it, and I saw a little flash. I was looking at the video, so I scroll to it, and I zoom in, and it just was like, I have no idea what that is.
Some people argue it's just a balloon, but Jones says the flashing silver and gold lights make him think otherwise.
To me, I can't imagine a balloon doing that in a fraction of a second. It's like a tenth of a second that each end individually did that and also flashed individually and together.
Jones says he definitely thinks it's a UFO unless someone can prove otherwise.
If I see evidence where it is indisputable for me that it would be a balloon, then yeah, I would say, yeah, it's probably just a balloon. But given the experience, I couldn't see it. After 10 seconds, I couldn't see it in the sky anymore. Why would a balloon, if it was just twisting around, why wouldn't I see it again?
The video has sparked a debate on social media and even picked up by YouTube channels that post UFOs and unsolved mysteries.
There's debate on what it is, and I think there are enough people that are saying, that they don't know. They're agreeing that they're skeptical that it's a balloon. They think it's something else, and I tend to agree with that.
In the Triad, Asal Resign, Spectrum News.
So according to Brett, this whole incident happened in a span of around 10 seconds where he saw a flash, he looked up, saw an airplane, so he began to take footage hoping he would catch something. He describes that in less than a second, the ends of this object flashed for a brief moment, and then he really couldn't see it anymore. So what did he capture? Well, for now, I'll remind you that we're on a UFO channel, so we'll be putting aside the balloon hypothesis for now, and we'll dig into our bucket of ufology. So what would you say this most closely resembles? If we look at it closely, I think this is the best frame for us to determine what this could be, and to me it's one of two things: a cylindrical UFO or a triangle. Let's explore the cylindrical shape first, as it almost looks clearly like a giant fuse of some sort with a cap on each end. The man who filmed it, Brett, said he saw the ends of this thing flash, and that reminded me of this footage, also of an object that seems to be cylindrical in shape and is also flashing either on its own or it's reflecting sunlight. I featured this object in another video, I'll link it above. Now let's go ahead and zoom into the object and adjust the levels of the image, and what do we see? Well, to me, this is where it begins to look less like a cylinder and more like a triangle or pyramid-shaped UFO. Even in the frames previous to our clear shot, we can kind of see a dark cluster of pixels here on this end, which to me further hints that there might be more mass following this object. Then there's this frame of the object where it almost looks like a flat pyramid. And we've heard reports from the Navy itself describing that pyramid-shaped objects swarmed one of their Navy destroyers. I made a video on that and I'll link it above. So the more we looked at it, the team and I decided to do our own interpretation of what this could be. And here's what we came up with. We'll go ahead and spin it around some so you can get a better idea of what our opinion is of this object. What do you think? something else we can't ignore are the other frames and artifacts found in some of these shots. So my question is, in these frames before the object comes into view, is this thing coming into focus to the camera? Or is this thing coming into our atmosphere and then leaving quickly, leaving in its wake some sort of energy signal? I obviously don't know, but it's a question that I'll pose to you. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. Also, what about this down here? Is this part proof that this is actually a balloon being tethered to something on the ground or below? There's definitely something there, as it actually appears in several frames. Again, is this some sort of string or rope attached to this maybe balloon? But if it was a balloon, Brett says that he would have spotted it for a longer period instead of just for a few seconds. Now, I've been following this subject for a long time, and something that stands out to me about this story is that he thinks he's seen UFOs before, and that's actually a common theme with people who have captured UFOs on tape. A few videos ago, I featured a clip where the people recording mentioned that they had recorded something before.
Geez, this is better than yesterday's footage.
Then we can go really down the rabbit hole and declare those theories that if you're constantly seeing UFO activity, then you actually may be in contact with UFOs more than you're aware of. Think abduction. But that's a subject for a totally different video. But this really is great footage of something strange, corroborated by Mr. Brett and his testimony that this was just there for a brief moment of time, flashing and then it was gone. Did this man capture a balloon that simply sailed away from him to the point where he couldn't see it? Or did something else make a brief appearance and then disappear into space or maybe even another dimension? Please tell me in the comments down below what you think. Next is something that's been around for a while, but I thought I'd revisit it briefly just in case you run into this on the internet, you'll know what it is. It comes to us by the way of Google Maps from Australia, more specifically Badgangara, and this picture made waves in the UFO community back when somebody discovered it in the mid-2000s because, well, it sure does look mysterious. It looks a lot like Google Maps caught a TR-3B flying over the Australian skies, and when we go to that location these days, there's nothing there, which may lead us to believe that this was actually a snapshot of something seen for a brief moment. It looks awesome. Unfortunately, this seems to be a fenced-off area, hence the darker looking ground, where there was a tower and lights. You can even see the shadow of the tower right here. And if we go back and look at Google Maps today, we can actually see exactly where these things were located. And well, I really wanted to show you because the photograph looks awesome, and you may very well be convinced that you're looking at a giant TR-3B, but unfortunately it's not. Lastly, I just wanted to share an animation with you. I found it on Instagram and I don't know who created it, but I think whoever did a fantastic job. And the reason I'm showing it to you now is because this is a classic rendition of several instances where people are driving on a desolate road when they're all of a sudden met with the sight of a UFO in their proximity, and at which point they get out of the car completely awestruck. It happened to Betty and Barney Hill. It happened to Travis Walton and his crew. It happened in the Gulf Breeze UFO sightings.
Jim says his most threatening encounter with the UFOs occurred on this road. He says an object swooped over his car and sent out a beam of light.
And it came through the windshield, hit my exposed arms, and turned my skin to like it was asleep, but even worse. And then you don't have any feeling at all. I proceeded to panic.
And even in the film Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So yeah, when I saw this animation, I immediately started imagining how incredible it probably is to experience something like this. And what I'm willing to bet money on is that people have probably experienced this in the past and just kept it all to themselves, fearing ridicule or just trying to forget the experience. Amazing to think about. Alright now, so let's talk hoodie giveaway. Just in time for the fall and winter season, each month for the foreseeable future, we will be giving away one free embroidered pullover hoodie for one lucky subscriber. All you gotta do is hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below, and make sure you read the rules, and you will be entered into our monthly raffle. Again, the winner gets one pullover hoodie in the color of their choice. Our next winner will be announced on the 15th of October, so don't miss out, smash that subscribe button, and leave a comment for your chance to win. If you don't want to wait to get some gear, you can snag one in the link in the description down below. And that'll do it for today's episode. Thank you guys very much for watching. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss any of these videos. And as always, this is Jesse. Let's keep our eyes to the sky, our cameras ready, and an open mind because we love the UFOs. Till next time.